So, we are in most of a pickle here in Port-au-Prince. To Ponta Delgada, it costs 7,200, and I don't think we can do that. Well, actually we can't. That's what I'm trying to beg. Plus 8 hours. I don't know what that will do. We had, it seemed, no alternative. We took to the streets. Monsignor Fogg had tipped upside down on the ground. My master's detachment was out in full force, and I think that prevented us from receiving much aid. We must try to look more humble. I advised him. Monsignor Fogg did not even look at me in response. Russians with Fogg had deteriorated slightly. Let's sleep for the night. Haiti had the distinction of being the only nation in the world established as a result of a successful slave rebellion nearly 70 years before. The slaves and free people of the cover of Saint Dominique had revolted against their French masters. Perhaps one of my ancestors had been a slave owner here or in France's other colonies. It was more than possible. The thought left me with a deep sense of unease. As for Haiti, the nation had progressed beyond anyone's wildest imaginings in the last 10 years, spreading its influence across South America and the Caribbean. The source of Haiti's newfound wealth was evident in the street. It was a success story and a warning to those who would try to threaten Haiti's hard-won independence. The living animal automatons, the Zanimoto, were functional but also a formidable force. I looked up the giant birds, which carried up to 4 passengers thanks to the bone and wood extension grafted onto their wings. Instead of copper and iron, Haitian automata were made from organic material, bone, bright coral, pale wood. I had never seen such creations before. I looked for the Artificers Guild, but found no evidence of an outpost in Port-au-Prince. Surely the guild knew that Haiti was flouting its law? I would not leave Haiti without a Zanimoto. He wanted to know. They seem valuable. I will fetch an excellent price elsewhere. I found a local shopkeeper, but he shook his head. I cannot sell my creatures to foreigners, he said curtly, but we do sell automoto, which have no living parts if you want. I bought one of these. Okay, we really need to find a different way. I walked the streets a while, discovering the possibilities of how we might make progress. Washington. This is crazy. Well, we can go to Caracas. But that seems to be even further than Belam. Wait, could we negotiate it? Arrives tomorrow. Is there nothing we could sell here? A flintlock pistol, an automaton, knitted gloves, Atlantic timetable. Well, we're getting into a deep trouble here. I don't think we're gonna make it. Looking at the trip so far, it was really good, but I think this is the worst part. We lost so much time here. Now if we go to Caracas... I guess that's the only way how we can do it, so let's just go for it. Another night and the clock was forever ticking upwards. With what remained of the day, I attended to Monsignor Fogg. Okay, let's depart to Caracas. Our extra space arrives today. Anhinga. Our transport was an anhinga, a tram-sized mechanical bird with jet-black metal feathers and a curved wooden beak painted a lurid yellow. A double row of 12 seats were riveted to its back, and our luggage was suspended below its vast boilers. "Greetings, Edward Va. Well there, Passepartout. Caracas de Balam? Maybe, but there is neither bank nor market in Balam. But now, do you like to dance? Yes. Music calls to me, and I must answer. Caracas. Where else could we go? Freetown? I believe so. My childhood sweetheart had quite an adventure about the Maquilleta from Caracas to Freetown. Freetown to Dakar. One can fly about the Dowling gyrocopter. Interesting. Oh god, this is gonna be so expensive. Let's hope it might not be. Monsignor Fogg peered over the side of the Caribbean Sea far below. "Would you understand Haitian Creole?" he asked. My eyes narrowed in suspicion. My master asking a question about languages. It was quite unprecedented. Why do you wish me to know? Why do you wish to know, Monsignor? It is intelligible to me. He said. I wonder why I could not apprehend it, as I have some facility with French. It is spoken quite fast in Haiti, I said non-committally. Alas, Monsignor Fogg possessed the facility of all well-educated, disinterested English gentlemen with French, which is to say, not very much at all. I was only glad he did not attempt to maul my native tongue with a great frequency. I have noticed that some linguistic facility is of use when negotiating prices and exploring one's options, he remarked coolly. I can take care of all that for you, Monsignor, I replied quickly, rather shocked by the revelation that my master had only just noticed that languages were quite useful upon a round-the-world journey. Monsignor Fogg said nothing else of the matter for the rest of our passage, but rather set me to wondering what other obvious notions had yet to occur to my otherwise formidable employer. Okay, anything here in Caracas? Railway cap. Let's saw that one, and Freetown. One can fly arrives Saturday. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Okay, well that seems like a good thing to do. So, hotel then. We took rooms in the old Spanish colonial district of El Hatido, a township with villas and abundant trees bounded by the Guara River and a series of mountainous peaks to the north. I went down to the river and dangled my feet in the clear water for a few hours in the afternoon. A simple pleasure. My ears were filled with the sound of rushing water. My hands sunk into the soft earth of the riverbank. As I trudged back to our hotel, a pair of Haitian ladies wearing bright linen head wraps giggled at my wet trouser bottoms, and I paused to introduce myself, as a gentleman ought to do when he encounters such charming ladies. Please do not let us stop you, Monsignor. The darker-skinned of the two cast a quelling glance at her companion, which was so arresting I never failed to note that she spoke in Haitian Creole rather than Spanish. My sister did not mean to laugh. Are you tourists? I inquired. Caracas is a most congenial destination. I commend you. The laughing sister fanned herself ostentatiously. Oh, Monsignor, she said beseechingly, her dark brown eyes soft as the hand she placed upon my forearm. If only I were here to see the sights. I gave her a smile of sincere respect. The girl was a brilliant flirt. I was outmatched and conceded the field gracefully to superior ornament and strategy. Our scene of flirtation had been entirely insincere, but our respect for each other as players of the game was not. Enough of that, Minette, her sister snapped. The poor man merely said bonjour. M. Garcelle is merry, Monsignor. Demoiselle Minette, you are remarkable. I praised. Don't you encourage her? Demoiselle is merry, interjected, and hand resting on a gilded dagger at her tip. I am my sister's chaperone. Yes, Demoiselle Minette sighed flirtatiously. I am to be married to a local man, a pharaoh brute. Phew! Demoiselle Ismaru shot her eyes heavenward. You have him wrapped around your finger. Are you in need of rescue, Demoiselle? I asked teasingly. It is a mercenary marriage, Monseigneur, Demoiselle Minette explained with a shrug. My groom requires my papa's Haitian wealth, and my family wishes his fertile lands. And what of love, Demoiselle? Oh, I do not think I will have much trouble conquering hearts, Monseigneur, she replied with a laugh. After all, there are many Haitians in Caracas. They will keep me a company, I am sure. A very practical perspective. Were genteel Victorian ladies in London so bold? I had not seen much evidence of such independent thinking, but then I had never really asked. Perhaps such thoughts worked in their minds, pulled in by corsets and circumscribed by bonnet strings. I took my leave of the Ismaili sisters, feeling a little sorry for the saloons and society of Caracas, which would not stand a chance against such formidable ladies. So let's go to Freetown, hire for the luggage, and go. Maikieta. We found an airship that sailed late in the evening and clambered aboard. Greetings, Captain. Passepartout, how are you faring? Freetown to Dakar. I've been told one can fly aboard the Dahomey gyrocopter from Freetown to Dakar. On the subject of inventions, I've heard that one can travel by hot air balloon from Port-au-Prince to Washington. Dakar to Porto Novo. I don't even know what that is. Maybe the most efficient way to Porto Novo from here is through Caracas. Now anyway, has this adventure changed you? Do you think? Yes, this adventure has been the making of me. We are constantly changed, I think, but not always for the better. I'm told the loss of the slave trade has hit Senegal hard. I heard the Signaras of Korea are formidable women and active in politics. Dakar to Balam. Dakar to Timbuktu? I'm sorry, I have to run. That doesn't make much sense. We're coming to Dakar, we're coming to Freetown, then there's Dakar, and then there's Marrakesh going to... Well, we might go to Timbuktu and then, but we have 8 days. The Maqueta was a spare airship of older Spanish design, no doubt purchased at a cut rate by Captain Escobar. She was a likable sort, generous and good-natured, pausing to apologize for the way her crew kept looking at my master and me. We see few Europeans out here. Do you discourage European passengers? Not as such, Captain Escobar shrugged. Most Europeans have little interest in my business. For the last 5 years, the Maqueta had offered... Oh, Maqueta has offered passage to Freetown for families looking for relatives who were abducted as slaves. Why do they work in Freetown? Why have you chosen this task, Captain? I asked, curious. She favored me with a wry look. It is not altruism, if that is what you are thinking, she said, turning away. I too am looking for someone, and I have not found them yet. I asked no other question, for I sensed the captain would not answer them. It does not to distract a captain's heart from the vessel. No, since the captain would not answer them, and instead stood with her upon the observation deck watching the ocean roll beneath us. What do you wish, master? Money. All our funds. I fear we are desperately low. We will have to earn some. What do you know about Freetown? Timbuktu. It's one trans-Saharan caravan route. Day 73. No doubt confused by our presence on board, the other passengers avoided us. All that is, apart from Monsignor Sotilo, who cornered me on one of the observation deck with a challenging look. Who are you looking for in Freetown? I mean, whoever can take us north the fastest. He looked at me blankly. You have not lost anyone? Only ourselves, I replied, and then regretted the remark, shaking my head. Forgive me, it has been a long and tiring journey. We are, you see, going around the world. He barked a short, mirthless laugh in response and leaned closer. If I find my son, he said, I will go back to my home and hold him close and never leave again, and count my wife a fool once. I might do the same, were I you. Monsignor Sotilo smiled slowly. Maybe you would. I do not know whether to envy you or pity you. Do not ask, my friends, whether Monsignor Sotilo ever found his son. I do not know, for we did not meet after landing. All these machines for traveling, but so few for finding where to go. Perhaps in the future we will read our destinations as clearly as the lines on the palms of our hand. Ah, listen to me. I am tired. Day 74. We were stopped and searched by a British West Africa Squadron airship, whose crew questioned all the passengers closely to ascertain they were not slaves being taken off to some grim plantation. "Oho!" a bristle-moustached lieutenant called, spotting me. "And what are you meant to be?" "I," replied Hostel, "am a valet." "He's a passenger, Edwards," Captain Escobar interjected warily. "Please do not harass him." Lieutenant Edwards seemed torn between performing the courtesies afforded to a lady and his scorn for her trousers and cutaway coat. "Madam, stand back." "Do you know this fellow, Captain?" "Court term is Captain, Monsignor," I sniffed, turning to the captain. "Surely they know you are no slaver." "Oh, they know," she rolled her eyes. "The West Africa Squadron merely find it awkward not to be the only heroes dashing about, and hope to plague me into returning home to take up embroidery." "Or get decent and married," the lieutenant grumbled. Was he turning red? "You have an admirer, Captain," I cried, delighted at his deepening flush. "Ha!" Captain Escobar exhaled like a whip crack. "He is just a pompous boy, and I have far more important matters on my mind." The poor lieutenant opened his mouth and closed it again. "I believe he is blowing you a kiss," I remarked to Escobar. "Time, Lieutenant, time and patience," I advised him gently. He shrugged. "Perhaps, perhaps not. Ah, to be born without a heart." His pride assuaged a little, I think. He and his troops wrapped up their search with admirable efficiency, and we continued on our way to Freetown, free of his love-lorn hassle. Artificers Guild urges Haitian embargo. We teetered at Freetown in the late afternoon, and I looked over the busy port and bustling market stalls with interest. Captain Escobar bid us farewell, but our eyes were scanning the crowd around us, searching. "I hope you find what you are looking for." "There is no other possibility," she said lightly, "for I will never stop." And watch the passengers' faces as they disperse into Freetown, each one scratched sharp and bright with hope. Hope is, after all, the Maquieta's gift and her mission. So, let's see if we can sell something here. Oh, that was beautiful! So now can we go to get the car? Tomorrow at 12 noon. We're not going to make it, I think. Worth a lot in Lisbon. How much can we get in here? Okay, just 3. Let's explore. We have the time. New routes discovered. Oh, to Marrakesh! Freetown drew life from its harbor. Municipal buildings and warehouses gave way to residences around the estuary. There was an ancient cotton tree. The oldest university in West Africa was visible further along at Fura Bay. The locals called it the Athens of Africa. Students from all over the continent attended classes, adding to the mixed populace. The streets were thronged with people of different shades of black, brown and white, wearing everything from traditional West African clothing to the latest European styles. I caught the eye of a Yoruba woman in a traditional aso oke in burnt orange, who told me her name was Oyuolape. "I do not know what to think of Freetown yet," she said thoughtfully. "I was rescued last week from a slave airship bound to Bahia." I looked at her wrists, which were still dark and scarred with maniacal wounds, and shuddered. Oyuolape rubbed them self-consciously, and they were not but they were not only injuries. Her entire left cheek, which had been in shadow, was gouged in shrapnel scars which extended to her neck, no doubt below her blouse. "Ah, yes," she said, noting my observation. "Being rescued is a dangerous business." "Does it hurt?" "Only when I move." She drew her shawl around her shoulders more closely. "We were just lucky that a stray bullet didn't hit the hydrogen tanks, or pierce the envelope during the skirmish. You've heard that it happens quite regularly." "Will you stay in Freetown?" "I do not think so. I worked the trade caravans with my sister and her husband before I was captured. I'm heading out that first flight tomorrow to Timbuktu. Hopefully I will find them there." I considered joining her and gathered some relevant details from her. It would be a journey of 5 days and not an easy one. We can't afford it. It's just too far. What about the Marrakesh? It arrives tomorrow. Wow! That's incredible news.